Welcome, everybody, to the Basement Sports Network post-game Dolphin stream. I'm here with my guys, Alex to my right. I got JMV in the bottom. I got Royal here, who's officially, I don't know if he's here to support the Dolphins or here to troll. And I got my
Definitely
man,
not support.
Listen, Miami Dolphins taking another L, 3 in a row, 24-16 at the hands of the Minnesota Vikings. It's official. I don't know if it's panic time yet, man, but it's a vibe right now that none of us in here are feeling good about, with the exception of Royal, maybe, because he gets a kick out of this, as I can tell. But listen, we started off sky high 3-0, feeling great about this damn team, and now we are 3-3, dropping 3 straight after winning 3 straight. Alex, I know you only got a couple minutes with us here, so I want to get to you first. What are your thoughts on this game? How you feeling as of right now?
I'm going to bring the homerism because I know this is going to be tough. Because listen, this was a terrible fucking loss, obviously horrible. You hate to see what happened to Jalen Waddle happen, like that. That's heartbreaking. Like, there's just no other way to put it. He's a fan favorite. He's like damn near everybody's favorite player, one of the favorite players. To see him drop that is so unfortunate. I know he'll bounce back. I know he'll be fine. But I'm gonna mention some of the positives. This team has not played a normal game in a month. Okay? Like, every single game they have played since the Cincinnati game, the quarterback that has practiced all week has gotten knocked out of the game. Every single week. The next 5 games are against 5 trash teams and the Lions, if you consider them decent this year, with a bye week in between. Tua is coming back next week. Greg Little, obviously the honeymoon phase is over. The guy stinks. It was nice for a little bit on the right tackle, right? Couldn't play left tackle. Eichenberg was terrible. Teddy Bridgewater was a waste of money. He's terrible. Like, all these things we understand, and we can go at Chris Greer and things like that. But they were in both of these games that they lost. They were in all 3 of these games that they lost. Jason Sanders stinks. Can't make any kicks when it matters. I thought Mike McDaniel actually schemed a great game today, specifically at the end, getting his playmakers open when he had to. I'm not giving up on Mike McDaniel yet. When Tua comes back next week, if this offense goes back to timing and rhythm, like hopefully it does, I believe the Dolphins will win literally the next 5 games. I'm going to read the schedule. We got Pittsburgh at home. We go to Detroit, which is the toughest one. To Chicago, you're telling me our defense can't handle Justin Fields. Versus the Browns at home, bye week, Texans at home. This team will be 8-3 in 5 weeks. Clip it, call me an idiot, trash me while I'm gone, whatever you want to say. This team will be 8-3 in 5 weeks. This team did not quit once. This defense, when everybody said it's done, it's toast, including myself, stepped up and played their best game of the season. We better win the next 5 games? Absolutely. And it's going to happen. And you can't tell me it can't happen because they won 7 games last year in a row. Like, this is a close group, bro. This is a hard-fought game. I mean, listen, man, with all the injuries, I don't want to say that as only excuse because we lost the game. We deserve to lose the game today. We beat ourselves with the penalties. But with all the injuries, man, like, it's hard to just be like, yeah, it's a tough game. It's a tough ask for them to go out there and do that with Noah Iganagami being cornerback too. It's true. Bro, you tell me Noah Iganagami is
what injuries, though, Alex, bro? Like, that's what I want to know, bro. It's only one person who's not playing.
No, it's not just one.
No.
Okay, so it's Tua tomorrow. It's Tua, Teron Armstead, Byron Jones. Y'all haven't played Byron Jones. Y'all haven't played Byron Jones all year.
Peter Kohu not playing today?
Armstead is going to get hurt every year. Tua's going to get hurt every year. When are y'all going to stop making excuses and win fucking games, bro? Like, that's what my thing is, bro.
When Tua plays, bro, the win ratio is damn near 4-1. He's going to miss 2 or 3 games every year. I agree with you. He just missed his 2 or 3 games. Stay healthy.
When is that going to stop? When is that going to stop being an excuse? When is that going to stop being the reason that you are losing games? That because Tua's not playing, we can't do shit. When are the Dolphins going to stop accepting that as valid reasons for your team not winning games? That to me is the problem. That's a mentality. That's a mentality that is set into this fan base, and I feel like y'all are getting that from your team. Nobody feels like y'all can win shit without Tua. And it's like
they don't.
Well, then say the team ain't good. Quit telling me that the team's gonna win 5 games because you don't know if Tua gets knocked out of the first one and then you lose the next fucking 4.
When Tua plays, this team is good. When Tua and Teron Armstead play, this offense is completely different.
Royal,
but
that's a
Tua-
terrible example. Give me
What do you
one
mean?
team whose backup quarterback and they're still a
Really?
good
Who's
team.
winning
Give me
these
one
games?
team.
No, but to I can give you the Cowboys for one. Their team does not completely.
But they're not winning because of Cooper Rush.
Yeah, but they're not. But they're winning because the rest of their team is helping him win. The rest of y'all team,
But the rest of the Cowboys are healthy. That whole entire defense is healthy.
You're only talking about 2 players, bro. You're talking.
It's not 2 players. Ogba got knocked out of the game. Kohu didn't play. Byron Jones is a dumbass, and he's not playing. X is playing on 2 injured groins. It's not just one player or 2 players on offense. Look at the injury list.
Austin Jackson isn't playing, and he's not good, but he's better.
But I'm about to say, when Austin Jackson plays, he ain't good.
I don't give a fuck about Austin Jackson.
Liam Eichenberg is still a starter for y'all guys. Ogba hasn't reached the fucking quarterback all year long, even when he was playing. So y'all lost games with Ogba in there too. Y'all lost games with Kader Kohu in there too. Don't give me that shit about people injured, because when they're playing, the only person that y'all got an argument for who, when they don't play, y'all lose is Tua. Everybody else has played and y'all fucking lost still.
Yeah,
that is the reality, bro. The Dolphins may just not be a good team, and that's like, and when y'all got everybody healthy, y'all can compete, y'all can be competitive. But without Tua, if your whole team goes to shit, that means the rest of your team is shit.
Yeah, but this is what I would say, though. They haven't won a game without Tua, but, I mean, they've been pretty damn competitive, even with all these injuries. This game was here to win. Last game versus Jets, they were in that game for 80% of the game until it all fell apart. Same the week before. They've given this team a chance to win. They just haven't pulled through. I mean, they got a lot of pieces outside of Tua, so it's been close. They just haven't been able to get it done, unfortunately.
Okay, so let's talk about Mike McDaniel, bro. At what point is he going to start being held accountable for the rest of the team not being able to pull through without his quarterback?
It's not Mike. It's not Mike.
I'm sorry that I'm taking over the show, Nando. I'm going to shut up a little bit.
No, I love this. Keep it going.
But it's not Mike, though, bro. It's the quarterbacks are making mistakes. If you're in the fourth quarter, it's a close game. You can't convert on third down. By the way, Tua is one of the best third down efficiency quarterbacks in the NFL. But when you're in the fourth quarter, you can't convert on third down. We can't set up the play action because the run game, aside from the Jets game, has been garbage. Period. We can't set up the play actions. You throw turnovers. You fumble the ball at the 5. You give teams the ball in their own red zone. That's a recipe to lose. You can't blame Mike McDaniel. At some point, the players got to make plays.
I'm only supposed to blame the players?
I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. But the players have to do their jobs.
Yeah, but Mike McDaniels was lauded as a run.
Everybody deserves a little bit of blame. Mike McDaniel's the reason Liam Eichenberg is still the starting left guard on this team. He deserves blame for that. It is what it is. Chris Greer hasn't gone out to get another left guard. Everybody deserves blame. I'm not saying, the opposite to that. But I disagree with the other part of the argument.
I'm just being optimistic because this team has been in every single game they've played, and no team has played weirder games. Like this sport is about momentum. It's about the energy on the field. And when you constantly have shuffling in and out of the lineup, even when the dudes who are trash are getting hurt, right? Like when the corners say Nick Needham, who's not the greatest corner in the world, but him getting hurt, that matters. He gets first team reps all week. Like, again, it's a 53-man roster. Like it's literally a team sport. Like it's not just about Tua playing or not playing. Like he is a big part of it. And I think for the offense, yes, like the offense has to be able to figure out how to move the ball without Tua because multiple regimes now cannot do that. That's something Mike McDaniel has to figure out with the run game. But like, again, this team, the entire last 3 games has had players going in and out of the lineup constantly. And the dudes who are practicing all week end up not being able to play 15 minutes into the game. And despite all that, the team rallies. Despite a fumble in the red zone, the team rallies. They stay in it. They stay competitive. And all 3 of their losses were pretty much by 1 score. I know the Jets one technically wasn't because of the end of the game bullshit. But with 10 minutes left, they were in that game. So if they get healthy, I think they will be good. I agree with you.
I'm going to call you out, though. I'm going to call you out, Alex, because even without Tua, knowing that he wasn't going to play, you were calling the Jets all types of trash. And you expected them to go into – you expected Miami to go in there and win a game. Like, what games are you – okay. And what games are you expecting Miami to go in there and win without Tua? If you expect them to win, go ahead.
The games where the quarterback who practices with the team all week actually fucking plays. When that happens, when Teddy Bridgewater gets a full week of practice, and comes in the game and gets to play all 4 quarters, you can tell me this is fucking ridiculous that we can't move the ball. This dude was in fake concussion protocol all week and gets thrown in the game again, clearly out of sync, out of whack. Takes until the whole 4th quarter to finally settle into the game. Once he does, Waddle fumbles the fucking football. You can't beat yourself like that. I totally agree. But again, bro, Like when this is like, what do you expect? These guys are human beings. These dudes every 2 seconds are getting in and out of the game, asking to do things they've never even practiced before in the fucking week. The install has to constantly keep changing. And for
I don't think that was true for this game.
To be able to adapt and keep this team in the game.
I don't think that's true for this game. Go ahead.
Yeah, I do have something to say in Royals' defense, though. As much as I like Mike McDaniel as the next guy, the amount of self-inflicted wounds they had today, as far as penalties,
that's coaching.
That's on Mike McDaniel.
That's coaching.
When you have an illegal man downfield, like every other play, when you're holding every single play.
The illegal man downfield, I'm gonna throw that one aside. Every other penalty is on coaching. That play just didn't develop. It is what it is. It's not on the offense.
That's most on coaching. You can't coach a guy when
everything else,
No,
Connor Williams had no business being that far down the field on a play that wasn't an RPO.
But we can keep harping.
It was a screen. It just didn't develop.
But here's the thing. We can keep saying how bad it was. 75 yards and penalties. They turn the ball over every 2 fucking seconds. 2 quarterbacks in the game. They were in the fucking game. Brian Flores got blown the fuck out week after week. Adam Gase got blown the fuck out.
But Brian Flores also won them 7 games that were kind of like the fulcrum of your argument as to why this team is going to win 5 games.
Let's see Mike McDaniel with 5 games with a quarterback staying in the fucking game and not in and out. At least when Brian Flores was coaching, the QB who practiced all week, the backup, got to play. At least we weren't going to an undrafted free agent who then got the week of practice all week because Teddy was in fake concussion protocol. He gets knocked out when the offense is showing life. They went into their zone twice. Jason Sanders missed a kick, and they fucking took that stupid sack and all the penalties. I get it. Like, they have to clean it up. It's not going to be a perfect coaching staff. A lot of them are first-year coaches. Oh, my fault. But to say, like, oh, my God, this is the worst fucking thing of all time. Like, they have been in 3 games. They have 3 signature wins, and they have 5 easy-ass games coming up, and the quarterback has not played. Is it an issue that the quarterback never plays? 100%. Absolutely. We got to get it fixed. We all know that he would miss 2 or 3 games. We all know Armstead would miss 2 or 3 games. They've done that now. They need to stay healthy the rest of the season. They need to win the next 4 or 5 games. And I'm saying they can do it. Like, back against the wall every time this season, back against the wall, Mike McDaniel schemes up an A+ fucking drive where dudes are wide open, where plays are being made with Skyler in, with Tua in, whatever. Against the Jets, Sanders missed the kick. In this one, Waddle fumbled the ball. So you want to tell me he's coaching?
The problem is that the Dolphins are getting their ass kicked before he's setting those things up. So you're going to tell me that's not coaching? They are, like, against Baltimore, they were getting their ass kicked. And yes, he dialed up a great second half, bro. I will not take anything away from him. He does have moments. But there is a reason why this team keeps putting itself in the same position. They have to do similar things to come back and win games, bro. Like at the
end of the day, Royal, he's a rookie quarterback. I'm sorry, a rookie coach. He's gonna have his ups and downs throughout the year, and he needs to adjust in game.
100%. Sure, and that's what I'm saying. When he has those moments, we need to call him out on those moments.
Yes,
I agree with that.
Today, in my opinion, was one of those days where I think Mike McDaniels needs to more blame put on his shoulders than we've previously been casting on him.
No, I'm not saying that he did not have a bad coaching day today. He did not run the ball enough, like Dan mentioned right here. The 4th and 1 fake punt was a fucking terrible call. Just if you're going to line it up and go for it, you line it up and go for it. I was confused by the 2-point conversion at the end of the game too. I know it didn't matter at the end, but if it did, if we had gotten the onside kick, if we had scored a touchdown, like there are things like that. But again, I'm just trying to bring the optimistic side here. This is not the worst we have seen as Dolphin fans.
Hell no.
Not even the worst. Like
your franchise is fucking cursed. It is what it is, bro.
I'm telling y'all, like, this is not that bad. I hate to harp on Byron Jones, bro, but like, why the fuck did you get that Achilles surgery in March, bro? Like, I need to know the backstory on that because it is costing them so much. But again, I just want this team to play a normal football game. I just want them to play a normal football game where if they get beat, where your dudes are in and they're healthy and our dudes are in and we're healthy and you beat us, 100%. Yeah, 2 games behind the Jets. Why is that? Who did the Jets beat today, Royal? Do you know?
Packers.
Oh, how much longer until Aaron Rodgers?
Don't you have to fucking go? Like, I thought he had to go a long time ago. Go spend time with your family.
How many more days?
Get the fuck out of here, bro. Who did Jets beat last week with their sorry quarterback who can't move the ball? I heard somebody say that the only way they can move the ball is with trick plays. Well, they damn sure tricked some plays up last week to score 40 plus.
Yeah,
On a
y'all are worse. Y'all are worse. Y'all just got your ass beat from out. You guys were.
Spend time with your family. Goodbye.
How many more days until Aaron Rodgers? Yeah, you can't.
No.
How many more days until Aaron Rodgers requests a trade to the Miami Dolphins, Royal? How many days?
Damn.
I know it's coming. I'm here. We don't need him because we got Tua. But you know it's coming.
At least he gonna play. If Aaron Rodgers requests a trade to the Miami Dolphins, then y'all gonna have me on this show full time. I can guarantee that.
That was me bringing the optimistic side. Y'all have fun.
Right,
hey, listen, I think, you know, as much as Alex was definitely on full on Homer season right there, I actually think he does have some solid points. But I think everybody's to be held accountable. I think it's a little bit of everything. It's quarterback play. It's the run game, Mike McDaniel, everything. I mean, even the penalties, obviously. I mean, 10 penalties for giving up 97 yards. That's ridiculous. And then I was looking at this stat. We had time of possession 35 minutes, and the Vikings had time of possession 24 minutes. And you still lost the game by 8, and it could have been by more if we didn't score that late touchdown. That's just crazy to me. So I think a lot of it does fall on coaching. A lot of it falls on the players. I know JMV mentioned third down efficiency, 4 for 14. That's unacceptable. And
red zone efficiency again. Two things that our quarterback, who unfortunately did not play, is very good at.
Yeah, exactly. But Skyler looked all right. I mean, he looked promising in the beginning of the game. Like he looked like. It basically looked like Mike McDaniel had this plan set up for Skyler and Skyler only. There was no plan B at all. It seemed like once he went down, it was just like, oh, let's figure some shit out. To be
fair, Teddy did not practice all week. It took him some time in this game to get a rhythm with the players, and it damn near took a whole quarter and a half.
Right,
but that weird to anyone how he was healthy enough to back up, but not healthy enough to start. That kind of scared me too, just with all the controversies they had as far as that.
Are you comfortable with Teddy, who all four of us on this panel don't like, particularly?
Speak for yourself.
Okay, 3-1. Okay, the actual Dolphins fans here. Are you comfortable with Teddy starting that game with no practice the entire
absolutely
week?
Not. But the fact that he was able to come into the game after not being healthy enough to start, that's what was just a little bit of a red flag to me.
Yeah, I mean, it was him or Cedric Wilson at quarterback.
Listen, I liked the idea behind it. Like, you knew you were gonna have Skyler to prep the entire week for this, and I honestly think, like, the way Skyler had it going, man, there was a point in time where, you know, the Vikings weren't even crossing midfield, and there was plenty of opportunities where the offensive line and the penalties got them brought back, where Skyler could have had this game maybe arguably 10-0 at least, maybe even 14-0 or something like that. But I mean, let's talk about Skyler Thompson's performance just a little bit here. JMV, what did you like? What did you see from Skyler today, and how did it change once he went out for you?
Honestly, I'm not as high on Skyler as the rest of the Dolphins fans are on the way he was performing, but I will say he does not panic when pressure's coming at him. That is a good trait to have, because pressure was consistently in his face. It was consistently in Teddy Bridgewater's face, and he never panicked. He actually escaped a couple of almost sacks in that game, and he made some good throws. Didn't have a turnover-worthy play. That is a positive when you're the backup quarterback coming into a game, not turning over the ball. That's very important. But again, the penalties killed us. Honestly, the penalties killed us throughout the entire game. We didn't give the Vikings a chance to adjust to the way we were scheming for Skyler Thompson. So I'm not going to say I would have thought his performance was going to carry out through a whole four quarters of a game. But it just sucks. It sucks, man.
It does.
It sucks. What was it, 4 or 5 penalties in a row? We got all the way to like the 5, and it was penalty after penalty. We went from being at the 5 to out of field goal range, just like that.
Being at like the 45-yard line. I think, like we talked about it a little bit earlier, you guys said that y'all thought Jalen Waddle kind of essentially lost you guys the game. I thought that drive lost y'all the game.
Oh, I agree with you.
That drive was just like shit from top to bottom. Yeah. And it just showed the ineptitude of kind of some of the players that you had out there. You don't have Teron Armstead, so the offensive line is kind of makeshift. And that's where all of the penalties are coming from. A bunch of holding penalties. Liam looking absolutely fucking terrible. Mm-hmm. Again, that is a problem. Like, that man is a revolving door to y'all quarterback. He don't know where.
Even if he doesn't get beat like immediately, this man is getting pushed back all the way to the quarterback. Like, Even if he doesn't immediately get beat, he's still getting beat. Like, this guy's just dragging him back.
Your offensive line doesn't know what a stunt is.
Yep.
Like, that shit is, anytime a person does a stunt on your offensive line, that's a free shot on your quarterback. And I think that drive with all those penalties, that kind of encapsulated what was going wrong with your team. Like, y'all couldn't get out of y'all own way in terms of like being able to put the ball, getting into the end zone to kind of put up the necessary points to win this game. Somebody said Greg Little is another trash O-lineman. I agree.
100%. But it's true. We honestly beat ourselves. There was plenty of opportunities there. Time of possession was our way. So many opportunities, but penalties are eventually going to catch up to you at some point in time. This time it was catching up the whole damn game. I mean, every single time there was some momentum. And you look at the stats, and you look at the stats, and it's like, damn, that's crazy. Like, Tyreek Hill, 177 yards. Jalen Waddle, 129 yards. Mike Gesicki, 69 yards and 2 touchdowns. Mike Gesicki, 2 touchdowns. Your backup quarterback, Teddy, throws 300 yards and you still lose the game. I mean, a lot of it has to do with penalties. A lot of it has to do with coaching. But
Jalen Waddle wasn't that great either. Like,
yeah.
The numbers say one thing, and like watching Jalen Waddle was totally different. He has not looked like the same player since Tua went down.
That's true. That's 100% true. And
you
could
tell the interception was on him, and then the fumble. Like, essentially, Jalen Waddle's the reason they got 2 balls back.
Yeah, and the body.
And a lot of his yards came on that one play, like where he ended up getting hurt. Like, he got a lot of those yards on that play.
Yeah, and you could see it like in the body language from him after that fumble. Like, now it's into his head, and that's concerning as a Dolphin fan, because you want to see your players just, next play. Like, don't be too down on yourself. It's ups and downs throughout the season, and now we'll wait to see how his injury, what his injury is. Raheem Mostert, that was alarming to me. 49 yards rushing after he just had 100 plus the week before. Ant, I'm gonna throw it to you here. What would you like to see the Dolphins do differently? I mean, next week, besides, Tua's coming back, that's one thing, but what's something you want to see next week?
Yeah, I had to fact check these stats that you just said, because in no way in hell did I believe Jalen Waddle had 129 yards, let alone Tyreek Hill had 177. I mean, he was playing his ass off out there. He looked like he was the only one doing anything, but again, it was a lot of like 10-yard out routes just to bail out, Teddy. So the fact that he had 177 and honestly didn't even feel like it, but listen, as far as this game, though, I want to give a credit to that defense, man. I don't think they've been talked enough so far. I mean, they played their hearts out just to give this team a chance. So it's unfortunate the offense really couldn't do absolutely anything until the second half. But the main thing you want to see is that hopefully they can keep this up when Tua comes back. It seems like it's been a theme the last 2 years. When the offense is playing well, the defense is trash, and vice versa also. But if they can play this way, when they finally get Tua back in there, I thought Alex was talking crazy, talking about 5-0, but if the defense can stay like this, then they certainly can. I certainly don't think they will, just because it's been a pattern. When one side plays well, the other side is trash. But as far as going into next week, obviously they said Tua's going to be back. You want to see Waddle back in there too, because Waddle is the guy that I thought was going to have the bigger year just because of his chemistry with Tua. So we'll wait to see what happens with him. But really, that's all it's about for me. As soon as we saw Tua go down, I said, try to stay afloat until he gets back. They didn't. Good thing is they won 3 games, or they started 3-0, so you're not completely in a giant hole. And if you can go on some kind of run against this relatively cushy schedule, then you're still in it and you still got a decent shot at the playoffs. So that's the good thing about starting off 3-0, because they're not in too deep a hole like they were last year. So I'll be excited for next week. Hopefully everything can kind of go back to normal once Tua is back under center.
I agree, Ed. This is absolutely one of the top 2 or 3 defensive performances that the team has had all year long. Mm-hmm. Like that to me was shades of the defense that you saw 2 years ago. Like, that was kind of like dominant. They got more 3-and-outs like this game than they had all season long. And so that to me was an encouraging sign. Like, your defense looks like it's starting to come around. So when you do inevitably get your guys back, then you might be working with something there. Jalen Phillips got a sack. He did some shit today.
We saw something we never seen before either. I am the biggest Noah Igbenogany hater, probably. Well, I think we're all haters, really. But the man broke up 2 passes this game. That is something that I have never seen before in my entire life, is this guy make a play. Now, of course, I was pissed because he had that terrible pass interference when he first came in. Then I was kind of mad because his first breakup should have been a pick, and he just kind of dropped it. But still, he had back-to-back pass breakups, so I certainly don't expect anything from him. But
you should have been pissed he was on the field.
Bro,
he's terrible.
Noah is
he's the worst.
Noah is all drip, no brain.
It's honestly gotten ridiculous at this point when it comes to Noah. But hey, two pass deflections. You know what? That's
Career
something.
high.
That's something that you got to take as a Dolphin fan, man. But one thing that this loss did, and this stretch of 3 games, is kind of like settle all of Dolphins Nation, including myself. Like fuck it, I'll admit it, including myself, back to reality. Because listen, that 3-0 feeling when your quarterback was healthy, like we was way ahead of ourselves, and all this thing did basically said, settle the fuck down. Y'all still the Dolphins, just like I'm sure Roy would agree to that, and that's what it did. Now we're 3-3. We're getting our quarterback back. Yeah, you can say the schedule looks easy. You could win 5 in a row, but it's a shame, man. It's a shame that you have to. That 3-0 start is just washed away. Like we're 0-0 now, all over again, and Tua has to come back and basically be the savior here. Because think about it. We were talking about this on the weekly show. Like, Royal, how many wins do you think gets you to the playoffs?
In the AFC?
In the AFC.
Shit, you need at least 11, possibly 12 to get in
That's
there.
what I was.
I disagree.
Well,
you think you can get in with 10?
I think before the season, if you would have asked me, I said it had to be 11. The way that this year has been playing out, yes, I think 10 gets you in. As long as you have the tiebreakers, you got to win the AFC games. That's
Okay.
And Minnesota's game, Minnesota doesn't, I don't give a fuck. It's an NFC game. But you have to win the AFC games. You need that tiebreaker. But yes, 10 wins, I think, gets you in. You look at the teams before we started, we thought the Denver Broncos were a near playoff lock, right? They're under 500. You look at the Raiders, they're what, 1-4? You look at the Chargers, you look at the Bengals got off to a slow start. So we're right in the thick of things with everybody. It's just, I mean, the Jets are unfortunate, but I think the Jets are going to drop down to earth soon.
So I will say, JMV, I do agree with you that 10 with tiebreakers will get you in, but I was giving him a number that was based on what I think you would need to, like, a minimum threshold to be the wild card team, not with no tiebreakers, whatever.
Yeah,
I think
11
is kind of the minimum threshold that I believe that, like, if the Dolphins want to get in, if they win 11 games, then they give themselves just as good a shot as anybody. But like 10, you putting yourself in really shaky territory, especially since you've already lost the game to the Jets. Like that, to me, the Jets.
I didn't even mention the Ravens, 3-3. Like, it's everybody. We're all in the same boat right now.
Yeah, that's true.
That's just crazy, because I feel like that's where I feel bad for Tua is now. Like, he already has that target on his back, and now you're about to ask him to go out there and basically win you like what 8 games now and lose. He only has room to lose like 3 games. So you pair on with the 3 that he won. You're basically asking your quarterback to win. I mean, like what, 11-3 on his season or something like that. I mean, listen, that's just tough to ask for, and I feel bad that we couldn't get this man at least one damn win to come back at least 4-2. Now the pressure's on him even more, and I feel like when you got a quarterback coming off an injury, like, we don't know what we're gonna see from Tua. Everybody's just marking this game off like, yo, Tua's back, we about to win, we about to fuck shit up. Like, it's not really like that. Like, I'm a little bit on the. I want to pump the brakes a little bit, and I'm sure you agree with this, Roy. Like, should the Dolphin fans be expecting like a win next week against Pittsburgh?
So I'm gonna get out of my troll bag, and then I'm gonna get into like my.
Kenny Pickett got hurt, by the way.
Yeah,
it's
I'm gonna get out.
Probably gonna be Mitchell Trubisky.
I'm gonna get out of my troll bag for a minute. Look, there are some things that the Dolphins fans can legitimately take away from the first 3 weeks, because during those first 3 weeks, y'all were a top 10 team in the NFL. Like, and that's not like homerism, because I'm not even a fucking Dolphins fan. Facts. It is the truth. In the first 3 games, the Dolphins were a top 10 team in the league. When they get Tua back, the offense clicks. It does work. When you guys have all of your pieces, what you do works. And so there's not a thing in my mind that would have me picking against the Dolphins. I think you will win next week. I legitimately do. If they don't have Kenny Pickett, even if they do have Kenny Pickett, I don't care. Like, I think the Dolphins are going to win that game because they have Tua. So I think there is hope for Dolphins fans, but I do think that you hit the nail on the head. The Dolphins will dolphin. So there needs to be that added layer of caution in there with that optimism. The problem is that y'all either all in or y'all all out. It's like there's no buffer there. Nope. And so the Dolphins need to have that buffer, because I think this time without Tua has shown you guys what some of the flaws with the team are. Like, you guys have seen how you struggle to run the ball. So there are areas of improvement. If you can't run the ball, then you shouldn't expect to win very much in this league. If you're going to have to rely on Tua's arm to win you every game, then you should expect to lose some games. But I think if they can find a way to kind of help this offense work in concert with what Tua has been able to accomplish, then they'll be able to find some more success. So just to succinctly put it, yes, I do think Dolphins fans should be confident that you can beat the Steelers next week if you have your quarterback.
Well, that's what about your thoughts, JMV? I know you was going in about Mr. Trubisky being the starter. What do you expect next week?
No, I think I've seen a lot of Pittsburgh games this year, and I think their offense is abysmal. I think Najee Harris is struggling to find lanes, and when they're there, I feel like he's just not fast enough to explode through the lane. And their run game is not good. Their pass game is not good. Their O-line is garbage. And we have Tua back. So I expect the Dolphins to be able to put up 25 points minimum. And 20 points is enough to beat Pittsburgh. They scored 20 today against Tampa Bay, and they got a couple of favorable calls going their way. But I'm confident. My biggest thing right now is when you looked at the schedule before the season, there's games that we all said teams dropped that they should win. Okay, well, we just dropped 2 that we should have won. All right, so those games are out the window. We don't have like I don't know the words to say it. Like we can give up another loss. Like these next 5 games: Pittsburgh, Detroit, Chicago, Houston, and I forgot the other team. These are important because right after that, you got San Francisco and San Francisco. You got the Chargers over there in LA. Mm-hmm. You got Buffalo, which I already marked as an L. You got New England in terrible conditions, and then you got the Packers at home. You got to win. If we win these next 5, you got to win 2 of those minimum, and then you got to beat the Jets at the end of the year at home to get 11. So there is no room, like margin of error. We have to win these 5 games.
Here's my thing about the mentality of Dolphins fans. You just said that you just lost 2 of the games that you should have won. Who are the Dolphins to say that they should be winning these games?
Bro, it's the Jets.
Yeah, but it's also the Minnesota Vikings. You are not like –
We're a better team when healthy than the Minnesota Vikings.
The Minnesota Vikings are 5-1.
Oh, they're lucky. They're lucky.
Also, it's lucky when they do it, but it's not luck that y'all come back.
No, they just had a nice
like it's not
everything's been going their way.
This is what I'm saying. At the beginning of the season, everything was going the Dolphins' way. Why wasn't that luck? Why is it luck for Minnesota, but it wasn't luck for Miami?
Yeah. Bro, I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you.
You should not be saying that the Dolphins should be winning games against teams that I think that they are on par with. Like Minnesota, this is not a game that I would pencil in and say the Dolphins should win that game.
I agree.
Why?
The Jets won. The Jets won. Yeah, but the Vikings won. You're right. 100%.
Were we not in the game? Like, did we not have a chance to win this game?
I'm not saying that y'all didn't say that.
So we should have won.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't be. Well, they should have won because they did win.
No. They did win. They won. We should have won. Multiple times we were in position to win this game, and we fucking dropped it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you should have won the Jets game, and multiple times you was in position to win that game, but you didn't win. I'm with you. Like, I agree with you. I think you should be saying that when you say teams that the Dolphins should win against, you should be talking about teams that the Dolphins are definitively better than. The Houston Texans, I have no problem with you saying that. The Jets, I have no problem with you saying that. But the Minnesota Vikings, that is a team where I draw the line because that is a 5-1 team, and you're talking about you should have won that game. Why? Who's to say that?
Because we were in position to win that game multiple times.
If you talk about games where you're in a position to win them, then the Dolphins should win every game because the Dolphins are always in position to win games. They just never fucking do it because they're the Dolphins.
Yeah,
I think I'm a little higher on the talent the Dolphins have.
Absolutely, you are 100% higher on the talent. I'm just thinking about the mentality of Dolphins fans. I'm sorry, Ant. Go ahead. I was cutting you off.
Not just to say that if you're gonna ever say that your team should win a game, the Dolphins are not that team. The Dolphins are not on a level you can start looking at the schedule and say, okay, this should be a win. This should be a win. That's why even Alex said the whole 5-0, and you're over there looking at the rest of the schedule. I mean, not to do the coach speak, but you really got to look at this one game at a time because one, not only the bad luck that the Dolphins have, it's a different team every single week. And two, the Dolphins are not a good enough team to pencil in wins when you start looking ahead at the schedule. And they haven't been that in my entire life. They've never been a team that's ever been definitively better than anybody. That's why
leave the past in the past. Just look at this team on paper.
I did.
On paper. Just start naming the players on this team.
And that's why when they were 3-0, I said I wouldn't be surprised if they lose the next 3. I said I wouldn't be surprised.
Tua went down.
Not definitively
anything that I'm saying, hypothetically speaking, Tua has to be healthy. If Tua misses one game, we're done. It's over.
Yeah, but even with Tua, I don't think that you should be making like declarative statements that the Dolphins are better than some of these teams.
Are we not better than Pittsburgh?
Listen, did you guys watch the same offensive line that I did today?
That's a good point.
Bridgewater had about a half a second to throw the ball 50% of the time that he dropped back. What is Tua going to do with that offensive line?
He's been doing that his whole career.
And Greg Little. What is Tua going to do?
He's dealt with that his whole career. This is not new to him.
I think
he's
even
dealt with that his whole career. This is not new to him. Like a bad offensive line player.
So as soon as he comes back and he plays behind his trash offensive line, he takes one hit again. He's going to be right out the game. And now we back here saying, "Oh, if Tua was healthy."
Yeah,
I mean, we all watching the same games. You know?
For sure.
But he's dealt with this his entire career. I'm more worried about this man holding on to the ball when he doesn't have to. He's got to get rid of it. Like if the play's not there, I don't need you to play hero ball. You are one of, if not the most important aspect of this team to be successful in that game and moving forward. Yes, we have to take it 1 week at a time, but he is arguably the most important piece to this team. If the play is not there, I don't need you to play hero ball. You got to throw that ball away. All right. Next down, you move on. It's a 60-minute game. I don't need you taking unnecessary hits that you shouldn't be taking. That's my biggest concern when it comes to Tua.
I think we switched conversations like midway through it though, because we were talking about the Dolphins being declaratively better than teams that are up on your schedule, and it got back to Tua again. Like I don't give a shit about whether Tua is healthy or not. Like I don't, bro. Like if Tua is healthy, then fine. But even with a healthy Tua, I don't think you could just look at your roster and be like, "Oh, that's the Dolphins right there. The Dolphins gonna kick their ass." That's this, like Ant said, bro.
Royal, let me ask you.
That's not a team.
Let me ask you. Dolphins and Pittsburgh, who's better?
I think the Dolphins are better than Pittsburgh.
Okay, the Lions.
Wait, hold that.
You don't know what the Lions?
Hold that, because I want to get to that. Like obviously we're 3-3 right now. All of us, I think Roy was on the stream. We were basically saying that we're gonna take 7-3 going into the bye week. Everybody said we should take that. Now that it's 3-3, like I want to know where you guys are at. So I'm gonna read you guys the games we have until the bye week. Then I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna let you know. I want to ask you guys what you got. So we got Pittsburgh, then Detroit on the road. We got the Bears on the road. We got the Browns with Brissett starting in Miami, and those are the next 4 games. After the bye, you got Houston, but we're gonna leave that out. So those are the 4 games. So you got Pittsburgh, Detroit, Chicago, and Cleveland. And I'm gonna start with you. In those 4 games, what do the Dolphins go in your opinion?
2-2. They're losing to Brian Flores and the Steelers, and they're losing to Jacoby Brissett and the Browns. Let me tell you why. Even the second the Steelers signed Brian Flores and I found out that we was playing them this season, I just chucked it up as an L because Brian Flores, one thing, I love Brian Flores. I was a huge Flores guy, and I was actually really mad that they had let him go, even though Mike McDaniel seems like he's a very great coach as well. Because Flores, as bad as this team was, he had a talent for getting the players to play hard for him. And as a coach, I think that's one of the most important skills that you could have. And whenever I said that, people said, "Oh, well, why'd he let them get 7-0?" Maybe they just weren't good enough. But you look at the team; the year they were actively trying to tank. They were able to win 5 games. You look at the year they lost 7-0. 99% of teams would quit, and they would not give a shit the rest of the year. But he was able to get that team on track to win the next 7-8 games and give them a chance to make the playoffs. Brian Flores does not want to lose that game against the Dolphins. I think he's going to find something in him and in that defense, who's not a very good defense or offense. That team sucks. But I think he's going to find something in them to wake them up, and they're going to go and try hard against Tua Tagovailoa, who hasn't played in a month. I count that as an L. And Brissett, he's just going to kill the Dolphins because that would be the most Dolphins storyline ever. So I got 2-2.
That's just being negative.
Listen, no, but honestly, a lot of people be saying, Tua.
He's a linebacker coach, right? He's not the DC. Brian Flores. They're super banged up on defense. Their best players, Minka Fitzpatrick aside, are not playing in that game.
And TJ Watt.
It would be the most Dolphins.
TJ Watt's not playing.
It would be the most Dolphins.
Yeah, that's why I said Minka Fitzpatrick aside, because I expect them to play that game.
Yeah.
Their best players are not playing.
Yeah, but neither the Dolphins.
Yeah. Tua's playing. That's all you need.
Oh, yeah.
Tua, Tyreek, Waddle.
Without Teron Armstead, we'll see.
I think Teron plays that game.
So do you have 4-0 then, JMV?
I got 4-0. If we lose one of those games, we'll wrap up the year. We're better than all 4 of those teams.
Oh man,
I'm not doing the whole past bullshit. The Dolphins are cursed, bro. Leave that in the past. I'm not doing it.
Look at the present. Look at the
present. The present Tua got a concussion and the offense fell apart. It is what it is.
Yeah, but
as long as Tua is healthy, that stretch should be 4-0. There's no way it shouldn't. The Lions have won 1 game all year. The Chicago Bears have the worst offense in general. They're the worst offensive play I've seen in the past 25 years of American football. Okay, that offense is atrocious. And Pittsburgh is not good at all. I think they're 2-4.
They'll throw for 350 on the Dolphins because that's what happens with the Dolphins, bro.
No, man, I leave that in the past. I don't
go
do
back
the
to
whole.
last year, JMV, when the Dolphins had won 7 straight games to go 7-7.
I was the first one that said we were going to win 7 straight games.
They're playing Ryan Tannehill and the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, I chalked it up as an L.
He is going to absolutely tear us apart because that's what the Dolphins do. And you would have said to me last year, you would have said, "Oh, we'll leave the past in the past." No, history repeats itself, man. This is not a
I was on
thing.
the stream with Royal when I said we were going to win 6 games in a row because we were finally healthy, and I thought we were a better team than what we were putting on tape, and we won those games. Okay, now when we got to Tennessee, I thought Tennessee was a good fucking football team, and we were not that yet.
Okay,
we didn't have the talent, and we were going on the road. It was a wet game. There was rain involved. The turf was wet. I don't have trust in Tua in those games. I don't have it. It is what it is.
It did low key sound like a Bills fan just then. Now, yeah, look, I heard a little bit of it's high. Fuck you talking about your Florida?
No, I don't have trust. I don't have trust in the Dolphins in a cold weather game. I don't have trust in Tua in a game where it's soaked like that.
Past.
And we didn't fucking run the ball,
but not always.
That what?
You say that because of their history in the past. Why don't you look at that and say, "Oh, well, Tua has had bad games"?
No, but this is different. You're talking about a team that is accustomed to playing in hot weather conditions, and that is your body gets accustomed to these things. When you go from playing in 90-degree, 100-degree weather, and you jump into a game where it's fucking 22 degrees in Buffalo,
that's stupid because these players aren't all born in Florida. These players are born all over.
It doesn't matter. They've been playing here the entire year.
It rained in Miami too.
It's not new for them though.
No, the rain is different. The rain Tua just is not good in those games. It is what it is. And we didn't have a run game. We don't have an offensive line. Typically, when you play a game where it's wet turf, rain, whatever it is, muddy games, whatever it is, the conditions, you run the ball. That game is played in the trenches. When you look at Miami last year, even this year, all right, let me not just say last year, the offensive line is ass. The run game is not good. You will not win a game that has to be won in the trenches. And aside from that, you jump to the opposite side of the football, the defensive side of the ball. We're not good without the blitz. We can't pressure the quarterback without the blitz. Again, a game that has to be run in the trenches will not be won in those conditions. So that's why we got to Tennessee. I saw the weather conditions. It's an L.
Can I get my prediction though for these next 4 games since
Jay
just skipped me and dominated the ball?
We got.
I'll jump in there to argue with him.
We got 2-2 for Ant. We got 4-0 for JMV. What about you, Royal?
1-3.
Wow, 1-3, and you.
Listen, bro. It has it's kind of like you guys said. Tua ain't played in a month, and so if you lose that Pittsburgh game, I don't believe that they will. I believe that Pittsburgh might be the one game that they win, but I do not trust them versus the Lions. I just don't. I like the way that the Lions
play football. Chicago?
I don't. No, I do not. I do not. But no. When it comes to the Lions, I like, even though their record doesn't indicate how good they could be. I like their brand of football, and I don't think it goes well with the way the Dolphins play football. The Dolphins strike me as a finesse football team, and that's not what they're gonna get when they go to Detroit. You're gonna have to run the ball versus them, and you guys have not been effective doing that. And so that's kind of giving me pause there. The Bears is the one little hope that I got for you guys going 2-2 in this stretch, because the Bears are terrible. And there's no argument that I can make that would make any sense as to why the Dolphins would lose that game. I just believe that they will. I don't have any analysis for that. The Browns, I'm with Ant. Jacoby Brissett revenge game, bro. That man is going to absolutely kill y'all, and I don't know how or where. But it's just, I don't know. I'm not feeling this Dolphins team now. I even with the healthy Tua, there are some things that if he comes back and shuts me up, fine. But I have not seen enough from the other parts of this team to suggest that this is a good football team. With Tua, they may be a good offensive football team, but there are still major holes in the offense that they haven't fixed. So I don't know, bro. I'm losing confidence in this Dolphins team every week. And I don't know, maybe I'm just going to need to jump on JMV back and get some of that positivity in me, because I ain't got it right now, bro.
I have concerns for the Browns game. So that's a game that I have to see if we're healthy, our D-line in particular, because I'm not scared of Jacoby Brissett. I'm scared of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. So if I don't have Ogba, if I don't have Wilkins, especially Raekwon Davis, if I don't have these people on my defensive line, they're going to run through us. And that is a worry. So when you talk about the Cleveland Browns, I need to wait to see the injury report when we get there. But on paper, I think we're a better team if we're healthy and they're healthy, minus Deshaun Watson. I think the Dolphins should hypothetically win that game in Miami. Huh?
Are you scared of Myles Garrett?
I am terrified of Myles Garrett.
Okay.
I am terrified. I'm rolling out.
Guess who blocking Myles Garrett?
Out Tua every time I have an opportunity.
That's what I was getting at, Royal. That's what I was getting at.
You wait till Myles Garrett see Greg Little line up against him.
No, Teron Armstead, bro, you can't be a bitch in that game. I don't give a fuck what you're going through. I need you in that game.
Hey, rest him until that game. I'm with you.
Yeah, that's a game. Look, if he needs to take off the Pittsburgh game, they don't have TJ Watt. Take it off. I don't give a fuck. If the Lions, nobody on that pass rush scares me, and nobody in that secondary, and I like Okuda, by the way. Nobody else in that secondary scares me. Okay, when you talk about the Bears, Roquan Smith is a monster. That guy is a monster, and that Muhammad dude, the right end, is playing well. Eddie Jackson is a monster, and that first-round pick, they got the safety, Brisker's playing well as well. So they actually have a good defense, but their offense can't put points on the board. And Justin Fields will make mistakes, because he does every game. So that should be a W.
That's a similar profile to Zach Wilson, though. And I mean,
yes, it is a similar profile to Zach Wilson.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying these things.
Have the Dolphins had a turnover in the last 3 games?
Bro, have we had a turnover all year? I don't remember when we had a turnover.
They did have Javon Holland against the Bills, but I don't think they've had one since. So it just kind of sucks. You have the quarterback go out and defense hasn't really made a huge play since.
Do we have an interception?
I believe I think Holland got one. It was like a tip, and then he was right place, right time.
Xavier.
That was against the
Patriots. It was the Patriots. On
Devontae Parker. Parker.
Okay. They had the strip sack on Allen, though.
Can we talk about special teams a little bit?
Oh, that's an underrated topic right there. Underrated topic.
Kick return, punt return. People are not in the right places. We again allowed a big run on I think it was a punt return. They brought it all the way up to midfield. Special teams has been horrible.
Muff punts, Jason Sanders.
Punts, bro. Javon Holland, I don't know. Fair catch that for starters. If you're gonna try to catch that, you got to.
But the very next one, Tyreek should have fair caught that one.
Yeah, he was trying to.
Tyreek Hill has done that like 4 or 5 times this year. It scares me. He hits the ball, hit the floor, go up, and then all right, I got it.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all special teams, they kind of made me miss Jakeem Grant being on y'all team today.
I've been missing Jakeem Grant.
Nah, he can't catch the football. But it's like, I think one of the things is like special teams is something that you need to talk about, because you've had Holland back there returning punts and stuff. And I mean, yeah, he did it in college, but he may not be suited for that in the NFL, and you don't want to risk him getting injured back there. But if he can't do it, then you cannot have Tyreek back there. Tyreek should not be fielding kick returns or punts at all, because like you saw today, that man is your offense. Mm-hmm. And if you get him hurt on doing some stupid shit, because he's going to take the chances. He's a player. He's an electric player. He wants to make a play. He's going to take those chances. But if you get himself hurt out there, then your season is fucked. Yep. So I don't like the idea of having him back there as a backup option to another player who you definitely need. You need to put Noah ass back there.
Yeah, I agree.
Put Noah Igbenogany back there and let him do whatever, bro.
Let him get hurt.
Yeah, I'm not wishing that on anybody, bro. But I'm just saying, if you're gonna put somebody in harm's way,
I'm with you though. I'm with you. Like,
listen, you can't put Waddle there either.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Because listen, if Waddle or Tyreek goes down, best believe the Dolphins don't have any insurance for that. And speaking of insurance, this is a great time to shout out our sponsor right here at the Basement Sports Network. Our primary sponsor of the Basement Sports Network is Simple Health Advisors. Insurance does not have to be complicated. Please email them or give them a call today. Email James Pugh, my guy, at simplehealthadvisors.com. That's jpo@simplehealthadvisors.com, or give them a phone call at 321-345-7738 and let them know that the basement sent you. So
that was the second A+. Listen, Alex in the Spaces killed it, and now Nando just killed it.
That boy Nando hit me with the Magic Johnson. I didn't even see that bitch coming. Oh my god!
Hey, and talking about the special teams, I think we all agree here. Raheem Mostert is a ticking time bomb, and I am scared shitless every time I see this man back there returning a kick or returning a punt.
Yeah,
I saw his leg today twist the opposite way. I was scared shitless. The thought that Chase Edmonds was going to be RB1 had me terrified.
Oh my God, man! I'm telling you, like our team, like we're just hoping that something doesn't happen. It's crazy, man. But
Yeah.
we are getting into the tail end here. I know we are going to talk about the next week's game throughout the week on our weekly show. But as of right now, let me just get a quick win or loss from each of you before we wrap up the show. By the way, also shout out to everybody in here in the chat. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button for your boys here. And let's start off with Ant. Win or loss against Pittsburgh?
Let's go 20-3 Pittsburgh.
What?
Wow. Shit, I didn't expect that, bro. Three? You trolling,
3
bro.
points with Tua?
Brian Flores, man. I don't doubt the man. I like him. Big fan.
But 3?
No way.
With a quarterback who hasn't played in a month. With
I get
an
it.
That's fine, bro. Every time Tua comes back from an injury, he
Little
plays
and
well.
Eichenberg, y'all think they could put up more than 3 points? Come on.
Tua, every time he comes back, this is not his first injury. Every time he comes back, he plays well. Just look at every single time
he gets hit, he goes down for a month, and he's gonna get hit 100 times that game.
Ain't gonna
No,
lie,
that's a
boy
little bit of an
Flores-
exaggeration.
That boy Brian Flores did have Tua in a mental box when he was the coach out here, bro. In his own.
He is not the defensive coordinator. He does not call the shots in this bitch. He is a linebacker coach.
Yeah,
that is it. And his linebackers suck ass.
He gonna walk by Tua in pregame and be like, "I wanted to trade you," and Tua's gonna be like, "No!" And throw 3 interceptions.
You don't think Tua's motivated to kill Pittsburgh and Brian Flores?
I'm with
I think it's
across your mind either, or is it just Brian Flores? Period.
I think it's half and half. But I think honestly, Pittsburgh is really gonna pick his brain a lot. They're gonna be like, "Yo, Flo, I know you're the linebacker coach, but like, help us out any way you can."
Exactly.
And Brian Flores about to bring out a big ass book and say, "Bam, this is how you fucking beat Tua's ass."
And I forgot the Lions had Man Campbell too, so they probably gonna beat us too. I changed my prediction to 1-3.
Oh my God! Damn, we wrapping this up on a bad note. Royal, yeah, you said win before. Now I'm gonna just make sure you didn't change your mind.
I didn't, bro. I'm gonna hold to that, bro. I think when Tua come back, I think, like you said, Pittsburgh is trash. There is nothing about that team that I find confidence in. And to JV's point, even though I shouldn't be picking them, I think the Dolphins should win this game. So yeah, like I'm picking the Dolphins. Not particularly high scoring. I'm thinking something along the lines of 24-17. Like I do think they get something going with Najee being able to run the ball a little bit, but I think the Dolphins are going to win it on the back of Tua. I think Tua is going to come back, and I think Tua is going to be the reason that the Dolphins win this game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a 24-20 Dolphins win, but I think it's going to be ugly. I think a turnover might happen. Like I said, I think Flores definitely has some shit up his sleeve. But I got the Dolphins win. Now, JMV, wrap us up here with your prediction.
No, it's a Dolphins win, bro. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yo, give me a score, man. Let's end this thing off on a positive note.
I don't think Pittsburgh gets to 20. I don't see even Kenny Pickett or Mitchell Trubisky or Mason Rudolph. I don't give a fuck who started that game. I don't see them getting to 20. Like there's no way. They can't run the ball. I was somewhere along 27-13.
All right, there we go. Listen,
maybe even 24-13, but they don't get to 20.
I love the comments over here, by the way. All right, so that's gonna wrap up the show. Make sure you tune in on Wednesday for the pregame. Well, we're gonna talk a little bit about a little preview for the Pittsburgh Steelers and Tua coming back. So make sure you keep it locked in at the Basement Sports Network. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Play that music out.